Some Pringles.
Oh, okay.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to your favorite show on a Tuesday. Excuse me. We was eating backstage, grubbing and talking, and I don't advertise, so I hope you didn't see that cup. Especially not advertised for free. But welcome to the Roundtable Talk. I am your host, Christopher Unk Jones, and of course, I have my crew with me, Dr. Catherine Campbell. Say hey to the people, Queen. We miss
Hey,
you.
people. I miss y'all too.
Absolutely. Say hey to the people, Dustin.
What's happening?
Absolutely. And I have my big brother and our platform sponsor and host of the Knowledge is Power podcast live, Tony Renfro.
Yes.
Our condolences to you and your family.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Absolutely, big
Yeah,
Mm.
brother.
she's in a better place. She's with her heavenly Father, and hey, I'm all good.
Amen.
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 Amen, brother. Of course, Perry Busby will be tipping in here pretty shortly. I'm sure he's probably en route to his lovely abode and my sister. So y'all continue to keep her in prayer as she is recovering from her surgery as well. So again,
Mm.
you know what time it is. You know what time it is. So this is your roundtable talk, episode 11. I thought it was episode 10. So last week, if you were there with us for episode 10, celebrate to you, but we are in now a number of complete completion. And and we come to you with the theme: we hate what raised us, the crisis of identity, self-hate, and abandonment in Black America. So our opening, of course, um, national topic is one of epic proportions, but I definitely want to um, let everybody know that we're at a point in our history right now where we have to face the truth about how deeply our sense of identity has been broken, abandoned, and even in too many cases sold off. We're not just discussing what others have done to us that's been well documented. Tonight, we're addressing what we've done to ourselves, if you don't mind, taking a sense of what most people say we don't do is hold ourselves accountable. And I sometimes have to beg to differ. Um, but tonight we're going to definitely hold ourselves accountable. This is our 11th episode, and we're going to earn every minute of it. This is for the elders who stayed silent while generations were gaslit. This is for fathers who post their kids but haven't parented them. This is for mothers who gave everything but never held what was passed to them. And this is for the youth who were handed pain and left to figure out pride on their own. Tonight's conversation is uncomfortable, but very, very necessary because have silence hasn't saved us. Denial hasn't healed us. And fear of truth is what's keeping us fractured. So, if you don't mind, we're gonna run it back from last week, sort of kind of with the same mood. Let's get to it. Our national topic for tonight is Black Skin, White Algorithms, the new program, self hate, and anti blackness machine. And I got my notes, Miss Cat. You got your notes? You
I'm
ain't got
shooting
no
from the hip,
notes?
baby.
Come on. Yes, indeed. The new program, self hate, and anti blackness machine. We are living in an era of automated trauma and make no mistake, it's intentional. every day across all platforms, whether it's Facebook, TikTok, or even CNN. We are being taught to fear ourselves, to distant or distrust each other, and to believe that blackness is inherently violent, messy, and broken. What's worse is being framed as truth, but that's not truth. That's not our truth. It's targeted content to designed to fracture our perception and self community. Let me break it down to you clearly. A young black man graduates early. Once we don't see it. A black father walks his daughter down the aisles. We miss it. But let that same young man get arrested or that father get caught fighting in public and it'll go viral overnight. Am I lying?
Complete with his picture on the news.
Exactly. That's not by chance. That's programming, y'all. Our dysfunction is being monetized. Our pain is being recycled. And the scariest part is that people across all generations are consuming it without question. Grandparents forwarding fear-based stories, parents reposting trauma, and youth building their self-worth through broken compromise or comparisons. We are not just being surveilled, we are being reshaped. So, to my round table, better yet, let me dip back a little bit. Some of the things that we want y'all to have or talk about at your table is why younger and older black people are both manipulated to fear their own. How viral trauma has become cultural identity. The difference between honoring pain and perpetuating it for clicks. And what happens when we let apps replace elders and influencers replace examples? The roundtable question for this particular topic is, what are we consuming that is convincing us and our people that we are the problem? And how do we cut it off before it consumes us? Seeds of Solutions is Launch Black Mirror Mondays, community check-ins on social media, and media impacts. Build black-owned digital networks rooted in legacy, truth, and healing. Call out trauma baiting, hold influencers accountable for harmful narratives, and our sources, of course, as we love to give, comes from Colors of Change, Algorithm of Oppression. You can find that at colorofchange.org. Please check that out. A wealth of knowledge all the way through and through. And there's also um, the author of Algorithms of Oppression, Sophia Noble. Check out her book. Very good read. I'm in it already, so I would ask that y'all pick that up too. Of course, you know Brookings, how social media reinforces, excuse me, anti-black bias. Check that out. That's brookings.edu, brookings.edu. Check them out for some sources. So, to my table, what are we consuming that is convincing us our people are the problem? And how do we cut it off before it consumes us? Go ahead, Dr. Cat. Ladies
Well,
first.
well, you've already named it. The news. Whenever whenever there's a report on the news, they always, if it's a black person, they say it's a black person was found doing XYZ. You know, we need to put more pressure on the media not to do that to us. You know, um, Now how we go about doing that, I'm not quite certain, but it needs to be there needs to be a change because definitely that it was white folks that broke into the church because they don't say it was white folks that broke into the church. You know, they just say the church was broken into, right? And if by chance they have a video of the person breaking into the church, you'll see that they're white. Sometimes they'll show it, but very rarely, right? And even our movies are stereotyped. That we are not uh, a learned people or a cultured people. So we need to stop patronizing that kind of industry that demoralizes us, right? Um, let's see. I hit the news. I hit the TikTok and social media. You laughing at me, Dustin? Come on, huh? Um, yeah, TikTok and social media. They do the same thing, and everybody's showing up like it's all a party, but it's not a party. You know, this is our whole life and living, and we need to show that we are a better people than what they're stereotyping us as.
I totally agree. I totally agree. Tony,
I'm
you
gonna
want to
get
take a
somebody
stab
else's
at it?
opinion.
Hey guys, I'm just listening. I'm not paying too much attention. What's going on?
So the round table question, if you're gonna be at the table, what are we consuming that is convincing us our people is the problem, and how do we cut it off before it consumes us?
You can't. I can't answer it. I don't have a clue what you guys talking about. I'm working on. I'm working on some other things, but anyway, guys, y'all enjoyed the show. Go ahead, bye. Hey, everybody, hello. Hey, hey, Terry Raw, how you, man? Thanks for watching.
Hey man, what's going on, Terry?
So, yeah,
Hey
Go ahead,
Terry,
and
hey
Terry.
all the
Terry,
best, Super T.
Terry and Perry, hey y'all.
Hey, hey, Super T, all the best, my brother.
All is
All the
well.
best,
All is
man.
well, baby. All is
Lifting you
well.
up,
All
man.
is well. We got a lot on my plate, but it's all good.
Yes,
I
indeed.
hear you, man. I
Yes,
know.
Exactly.
indeed, man. So,
I
Our
Dustin,
know
hearts
you
go
do.
out to you, Tony.
Thank you. Thank you.
what are we consuming, Dustin?
To me, I say it falls down to a two-prong attack that people ain't really paying attention to. The Willie Lynch letter is still in effect.
That part.
Okay, I
Well,
mean, like
oh
I'll
wow,
bet
he
that.
he
They
Hey,
still
said
making
Willie
slaves
Lynch,
out
and
there.
he just
and
stopped.
pause. I promise they cut you out, Dustin. Like soon as you said
They
brother, soon as they said brother W,
you said that
they
Hey,
name.
froze you.
they doing me just like that Facebook does me. Whenever I put too much black stuff, all of a sudden my account get little messages sent to me. So,
Hey
but it's
man.
okay. I don't care.
So what did you say after you announced what was still in effect?
It will is still in effect, and the second part is pay for hate. Because if you notice, you look at accounts. Whenever there's man versus woman bashing, black woman versus black man bashing, those are the most popular accounts on social media. But when you trying to uplift, they'll put you off in a corner somewhere where it's hard for people to find you unless they search for you every day. But this is what they did. They turned everything into the tabloids. The little
Yeah,
magazine used to be by the grocery aisle when you about to check out. Now
yeah,
it's everywhere. Cause you get to see, you can see it in real time. Because people think social media is only a 1 day week thing. You can go back years and you can watch people profile and you can watch them shift from what they used to talk about to what they talk about now because it's paying them. And it's the sad thing ever that people have no code, no morals no more.
hmm,
They'll do anything for $1,
Mm.
including hate themselves, hate their mama, hate the people who made them.
man. That took me out. That Willie Lynch. I man, because last week we talked about Jim Crow and how that mindset isn't gone. The laws may allegedly be off the books, but the mindset is still available. But
Mhm.
period. Give us something, bro. What are we consuming?
Wow, we consuming too much, uh, and especially too much of the wrong thing. But
Mm.
it's funny that you started with the consumption, because when I used to teach a computer class, a community level computer class, or whenever I speak to young adults about what it is I do. Uh, One of the things I always started out with was asking kids if they had ever heard of the guy who became a millionaire from eating frosted flakes. And they's like, what? I was like, yeah, did you ever hear the guy that became a millionaire because he was eating frosted flakes? And they's like, no. And I was like, because that's not possible. You can't become a millionaire just by consuming.
That's right.
The one who makes is the one who becomes the millionaire. The one who creates is the one who becomes the millionaire. And it's when you just look at the
I hope they hating on you. They hating on you. When you
rise,
just look
I
at
mean,
the okay, there we go.
1993 on their in their home to now, everybody has a smartphone. That's a pretty meteoric rise when you begin to just put yourself out on the internet. I mean, we talk about social media. Well, social media is based on the assumption that one understands how to be sociable and that one has some mores and some and some teachings into how to work and how to conduct themselves in the social setting.
Is
But
that possible?
when you just start pushing the consumer part, here you want to be a part of
There
Facebook.
you
What
go.
is Facebook?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. I just want to be a part of it. I want to be on TikTok
Right,
because I
right,
keep getting
right.
these videos and I hear everybody wants to be on TikTok.
And
Well,
I want followers. I want likes.
you get chaos, but then flip to the other side, and this is the other point that you made that I thought was so key.
They hating on you again.
That algorithm,
And
huh?
that was
I told
and Cat
y'all.
began to ask, well, what can we do? And with all opposite side of surveillance is containment. Because if you're
Hmm.
surveilling, you're also containing. You're putting that person within a certain uh,
Param.
parameter.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things that, and it's been my push with what I do now currently, working with community groups, is to get them to look at what data are you collecting on what you're doing. We are so heart driven and mind driven on the mission that we aren't collecting even some of the most routine data that can really help us.
Yes.
And as I'm saying, and I'm a witness. You want to know, well, how can we do it? I mean, I work for white guys who are willing to pay me handsomely to get the data that they already getting. And I'm saying, I'm working with you all. We have data at our disposal.
Yes.
There's a group called Data for Black Lives that teaches how we can request public information and how public information, and as we collect it, we can then tell our stories because they're
Yeah.
telling
Yeah.
our stories by that same information, i.e., if
Mm-hmm.
they're collecting traffic route data in your community, and you don't know the traffic patterns and you don't know how things are, but you are just feeling it, and then all of a sudden they change routes, and all of a sudden a freeway comes through or overpass goes by. It's because of traffic patterns that we were not even paying attention to. And
Yes, yes.
sometimes it takes us to be at the table to eloquently fight these issues, not just emotionally with heartthrob stories saying, "Ooh, this is bad for us." We have to know our own stories. We know,
That's
we
right.
know, we know the transgressions that are going on in our community. So how can we get it? We have to get our people to trust in us, that they're willing to bring the information to us. We're getting it by happenstance anyway.
Anyway, anyway, anyway. Give us something
So
so
it
we can wrap this
becomes
topic.
right. It becomes an organizational thing, such as the neighborhood associations begin to talk
Ah,
about the crime that they see in their community. In
right.
addition to what the police is saying, what they're doing, we also need to compare that against what we know is happening in our communities as well, and not just from that.
He sound.
It was truth. That's why.
Yeah,
Emotional
you notice every time, like even when
one
Dustin spit a truth,
off
it
where
start
some
flipping.
incident
That's
everybody to
cool,
pay attention to it. But the fact that we may also know how many stops happen in our community that never get reported.
man, man. So anybody else got something to say on this particular topic? Again, this one topic is so deep because the topic of this discussion is black skin, white algorithms, the new programmed self-hate and anti-blackness machine, because we're seeing us fight on social media like as if there is no white fights, there is no white murders, there is no
Oh,
white
they
bank
do.
robberies, like there is
Yeah,
no
I
white
watch them every day on
dysfunction,
TV.
right? Like there is no
right.
white dysfunction at all, and we cannot outsource the definition of blackness. We must stop consuming media that reinforces inferiority and amplify platforms that harness and honor our complexity. That means funding black media.
And stop saying,
Right.
Exactly. That means uplifting balanced narratives and challenging anyone, and I do mean anyone, even our own, who profits off of pain without offering viable and tangible solutions. And that wraps up that particular topic. We'll move to our second topic, which is our state topic. Absent, ashamed, and audacious. The identity collapse across black generations in Texas and the South. This isn't about shaming anyone. I do want y'all to know that, right? This is all about naming what we've refused to say out loud. This is a crisis of identity in our homes and in our hearts. And it's not just affecting the youth, but let's address what's real. We have fathers who speak with authority on podcasts, but are strangers in their children's lives. We have mothers who are trying to do everything, and I do mean everything, but have never been given a space or permission to heal. We have elders who complain about the youth while forgetting they stopped teaching when they stopped listening. And what we do, we expect of our young people. And what do we expect of our young people? That's just the question. And what do we expect of our young people? To navigate systemic racism, educational abandonment, spiritual confusion, and community betrayal with no instruction, no investment, and no compass. The collapse we are seeing isn't just political, y'all. It's personal, it's cultural, it's generational. So, your real talking points to have at your table for our listeners and our viewers. And again, good evening to all of our listeners and viewers. Hello, Miss Lillian. Hello, Tony. Hello, Terry. Good to see you, big bro. And thank you all for watching. But what we want you to have at conversations you have at your table are elders who critique but don't teach, especially youth who revolt but don't know what they're rebelling, why middle aged black adults are often too ashamed to admit they're lost or just don't know, faith and discipline versus faith and performance. What happened in the black church? You remember that? You remember that?
Mm.
How doing me, or I'm just doing me, replaced building us. So the roundtable question is, if each generation believes the next one is lost, who's still carrying the mat? Seeds of Solutions is start generational reckoning forums in Texas cities, led by youth, moderated by elders, establish a Black Texas civic family tree, highlighting lineage, lands lost, and legacy wins. Um, requires civic mentorships as a part of faith based community leadership. Our sources of um, information comes from Children Defense Fund, State of Black Families in the South, and that's the childrendefensefund.org. We have Texas Tribune, of course, you know I love that as independent Texas news. Um, and they also are applauding or um, encouraging Black owned media. So check them out. But uh, there's this civic disconnection among Black teens or Black Texans, and faith in public life. The Black Church Rebuild. That website has not come up, and I'm not going to give it to you. Um, so the question I have for my co-host, my crew, is if each generation believes the next one is lost, who's still carrying the map? Dr. Campbell?
That's that's a question, right? Because really and truly, it should start at home. The train, we should train up behind ourselves continuously, and it should start at, like I said, at home. Teaching our children just simple stuff, right? That will teach them how to navigate life and living, as they get older. And then, as we go out into our community, excuse me, we have people who are in position that can train up behind themselves and don't. We wait until the last minute to try to find a candidate. Why haven't we, sparked some interest in our youth already, right? We have to learn to train behind ourselves in every situation, right? So who's carrying the torch? The few and far between, which is
That's
not enough.
crazy. Right,
Which is
right,
not enough.
right. I think you hitting on it. I think you hitting on it. Especially when we're not sure if the map is still intact.
Hmm.
Uh
No, because
if
because we don't like the way we were raised, because they whipped us or they spanked us or whatever, whatever, however you want to call it, right? But now we're all into gentle parenting. Let's just talk to our children. Really?
Hmm.
Where they get a choice from? Who
Dustin
make the
looking
meat?
like
Who
who?
make the meter run? That's all I want to know.
Fury. If if each generation believes the next one is lost, who's still carrying the map?
Um, I, I being a PK, I'm reminded of that of scripture when the Israelites cross over Jericho, and the Lord tells them to place 12 stones there. And he says, place them there so that one day when your children come back, they'll
Yes,
ask, what do these stones mean?
that's right.
We've left gallstones, kidney stones, and everything else but some living stones. You know. And
That's all I can give you.
you know, but it's coming out because what we have been teaching is coming out. And that's what I keep saying. We keep talking about where these apples come from. Unless we're doing these seedless apples that grow in labs, last I checked, apples come from trees.
That's what I recollect.
And anyone, and if you just start seeing bad apples, you don't blame apples. The apple has nothing to do with its development. The apple has nothing to do with how red it is, how sweet it is. That starts from the tree on down to the roots to the
It's the
soil.
nutriment of the root. You sure right. The fruit don't fall far from the root.
Right. And if it falls and if the apple falls, it's still not up to the apple to pick itself up. So why are we so critical of apples and releasing the tree and the farmer and the village and the preachers and the teachers and everyone else from the responsibility?
The nutriment that goes in it. You sure right. You talking to a gardener right here, baby. Yes.
Right. Yeah. It takes a whole lot. It's more than just planting the seed and putting a little water.
Yeah.
It's the nutriment that goes inside. You sure right.
You know, and so when we start looking and saying, well, what's wrong? Well, we can start with just a list of what's not even there that was at least available to us. And we knew that we had the best of what was at least available. I mean,
Man.
the fact that our kids don't have a LL Melton Y to speak of.
Right. All our salvation.
And that was developed when I was LL Melton was around, I guess, maybe by the time I was 8, at least 10.
Yeah.
And LL Melton was the center place from everything from sports to social events
Academia.
to community gatherings. I mean,
They hate.
you know, we didn't have to go anywhere. We had it in our community.
They hating hard.
For the kids who did get a chance to even have some sort of memory on that parking lot.
That.
What happened to the what adults
Man
who were there? I think we have to ask ourselves these hard questions, and the best way to avoid hard questions is always to keep up chaos.
Dustin, if each generation believes the next is lost, who is carrying the map?
Let me look at my notes.
Get them.
If you didn't properly teach them how to lift heavy weights, move out the way and stop critiquing their technique.
Oh.
That's my thing. Don't sit on the sideline and be a sideline quarterback. Nah, if you ain't out there helping call plays, help set up the scheme, move out the way and let the young people do what they do. If they move in a direction that look like it's positive, but you don't like how it's doing because it ain't your idea, shut up. Simple as that. I don't care how old you are. If you didn't help, move out the way. People think just because they got gray hair coming out their head that they wiser than others. It ain't true.
Man, man. So that's the reason why I do believe. Go ahead, Dust.
You got kids that know how to use cell phones, but they know how to use the
I'm
toilet.
so sorry, Miss Katie.
Can you tell?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I may have to just drop off in a minute because I'm trying, y'all.
You know,
Yes, y'all keep Miss Cat in prayer also, as she is enduring some excruciating pain.
Yes, yes.
She's been dealing with this pain, I want to say, for 3 months
Where
now.
you going, Cat?
Longer.
Where you going, Cat? Do you need
Tony, I'm
Doc-
in a lot of pain. I can't even sit still.
do you need Dr. Feelgood to come on over there?
Lord have
Lord
mercy.
mercy.
Please leave
Put
him
some
where he
hands
at.
She
on you.
can't even laugh
Put some
right,
hands
y'all.
on
I
you.
can't laugh, y'all. All I could give y'all is left.
Put some hands on you, baby.
That's all she been able to give was
I'm on my way.
That's
come
all
with a
right.
heating pad and an ice pack. Go ahead, Dustin. My bad, bro.
but I'm just saying because it was like the same stuff when I was in the military that's out in the world. You sitting there, you got somebody with modern technology, but you up there 60 years old trying to tell me how to work Microsoft Words. Who you think know how to work it better, me or you? But that's just the thing. They want to talk about the same stuff with politics. Look, I'm sorry. Politics need to have an age limit at the top of it as well. Because it's
You're right.
always because when you've been on this world so long, your ideas need to start being invalid. Because
Mm,
what you thinking of back in my day is way back in your day, and that world don't exist no more.
I'm gonna say not necessarily invalid, Dustin, but I will say there's another way to skin that cat.
Oh,
You
there's multiple
understand?
ways.
it
Yeah,
lacks innovation.
innovation. You can get to the same spot. I mean, it's like following a map. We're all going to the same place, but we all may take a different route to get there.
Right,
But
right,
as
right.
long as we
Yeah.
achieve our ultimate goal,
And
right,
see,
which
that's
is
the
to better our
thing.
people.
Right. But that's the thing. The map, for me, or to me, the
Yeah.
map is in pieces. Right. And so, like, when it comes to like who is still holding the map, of course, like, I believe that there are some individuals who are 6 feet deep with a piece of a map. I believe that there is
Mhm.
somebody that's locked up in an insane asylum that has a piece of the
Piece of
map.
the blood.
I believe
Mhm.
that there is somebody that is a white person to the public, but a Negro by genetics, and he holds a piece of the map.
Well, you
I
better stop
also
talking about the
believe.
Pope.
Oh, I wasn't talking about that Pope. I was talking about another man that that passed as a white man was, but he was a passer. He was a Negro. J. Edgar Hoover was a passer.
Okay.
Mhm.
And I mean, like, the things he did against black people, he had to have at least had a piece of the map, y'all, for the things and the ways that he moved and manipulated against his own people. And so, I mean, I believe that there are individuals, not just gatekeepers, not just those. I do believe that there are some individuals who hold pieces of the map, whereas it's no longer in its entirety. And when our elders and our seniors see a piece of the map, knowing that they come from this portion of the map, it's unidentifiable to them. Well, I can't tell you where that's at. I've never been there. I've never experienced that. And instead of them saying, I've never been there, I've never experienced that, they'll say, oh, no, that's damning because
Mhm.
that's not never heard of. We that's uncharted territory. And so you're gonna stay in this space and you're gonna do it over here like we've been doing it. And so you know, restoration doesn't start at a ballot box, y'all, and that's no pun at what's going on in the city of Beaumont right now with the runoff election. And I hope you all participate in this runoff election. It starts in the living room, just like Miss Cat said. It starts when we apologize to the generations we failed, right? When we stop hiding behind pride and say, I don't know how, but I know I'm here. I'm here now. Let's get to work. Regardless, like Dustin said, regardless to the age group that I come from. Show me something new, baby. Because if I could show you how to take a vinyl and put it on a CD, or a vinyl and put it on your Apple Cloud. You're you're somebody, and for you to learn how to do it on your own, you put your own mighty clouds of joy on your iCloud. You are somebody. You are moving in the space of time. But again, we can't be audacious in critiquing if we are silent in contribution.
Hmm.
And that moves
And
us to the.
I
Go ahead.
think that contribution will again go back to what Dustin said. You know, if somebody knows a better way to get there, you know, even though parts of the map are missing, you know, we still want to reach the same destination.
Exactly.
So if we're gonna reach the same destination, let's just build a bridge over that part that's missing and get to the good part.
Or explore the parts
Right.
that's missing so
It's
that we
okay to be
can
lost
now
for a few.
chart the rest of the
Yeah,
map.
yeah,
But I think it is also essential that we communicate that we are going in the same direction.
Yes.
Because you
Do
may
we
be
want to
trying
go
to
in the
go, you may be trying to go by there. I'm trying to go to there and
right.
mm-hmm,
see,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and therein lies how we gonna move and operate. And I'm okay if that's how you gonna move, but don't have me thinking one way when you're trying to do something else. And I think that again, just kind of as you say, I think we as a generation, especially the late baby boomers, uh, we do we do have some uh, we do need to confront the fact that yes, we have not done wholly, and not and that's one of the things that gets there, because when you start talking about us as a generation needing to do something, first thing people want to say is, oh, I do this, oh, I do this. And it's not about the fact that somebody's calling you out, it's the fact that what we have produced. And if we can just get to the point of saying this is the result of the effort that we put in,
Yeah. Yeah. The disconnect, even,
because
or the effort we
some
don't put
of us could
in.
have been putting in effort, right? We could have been putting in effort the wrong way.
Hmm.
You need to acknowledge that, hey, look, I did make a mistake, and if we can't say, then that further raises that barrier, because our kids see our hypocrisy anyway. Whether we acknowledge it or not,
Yeah.
they see the
Yeah.
hypocrisy.
And they will call it out too.
And
Yeah.
they are calling it out.
Mm.
They are calling it out. Our local topic, and I appreciate this dialogue, man. I really appreciate that dialogue. Um, our local topic and our final topic for the evening is Beaumont, of course, is for Beaumont, but beyond. if y'all could understand. Um, I fear my own, how propaganda, pain, and passivity destroyed the village and the mirror. Um, this is this is I'm gonna give you the raw talking points. Let me give you your table points first. What that you could have at your table to our listeners and our viewers. This is what you could have, things that you could discuss at your table. What really lies behind I fear my own? How classism, colorism, and politics have replaced community pride. What happens when youth stop recognizing their elders and the elders stop caring? Why survival without structure is still a slow death. This is the one that hurts the most because it comes from home, y'all. Someone said to me recently, like I stated last week, that I fear my own people more than anyone else. And I had to sit with that, right? I mean, I really had to sit with that, like bake. And being that I'm talking about it again, it's still baking, right? Um, Not because I disagree, but because I knew exactly where it come from. The fear is not irrational, it's inherited. And not saying that the people I talk to inherit fear from their engagements within our collective affiliations or associations, right? Um, it has been passed down from generations who saw their neighbors neglected, their peers criminalized, their families broken up, and their voices muted. It happens when systems target you, but your community turns on itself because there is no healing, just hustle. So it's what happens when trauma is normalized and passed off as how we survive. We cannot confuse fear with insight. We cannot accept disconnection as culture. And we cannot keep labeling each other as dangerous when we haven't even learned each other's names. I don't even know you, but you look dangerous. That's profiling our own people. So, the roundtable question for this particular topic: if we no longer love who we come from or where we come from, what's left to return to, protect, or rebuild? Our Seeds of Solution launch homecoming circles or reunion circles where folks who left the neighborhood come back with resources, not criticism. Fund youth led neighborhood reclamation projects like murals and creating that Black owned media and showing them or buying collective land. Create a citywide village pact, like a pledge of engagement, presence, and protection. Our sources for this particular topic comes from APA. Again, that is apa.org. Internalized racism and Black identity. Our next website for information is National African American Reparations Commission or reparationscom.org. That's reparations.com.org. And our final uh, website for reference is blackyouthproject.com. That's blackyouthproject.com. Black Generational Trust and Civic Identity. So the question I have again for you all, my roundtable, my crew: if we no longer love who we come from, like I heard that Miss Cat said, some of us are embarrassed about where we come from. If we no longer love who we come from or where we come from, what's left to return to, protect, or rebuild, especially here in Beaumont or up the street on 10 in Jennings or around the corner in Kuntz? What is it that's left to return to protect, or to rebuild? Dr. Cat?
I'm going to start with respect. That's where we should go back to, because everybody wants to be respected. So in order to respect is not just given, it's earned. But how do you earn it? So you earn it by giving it first, right? And I noticed that in, as I am in business, some people walk through my shop that, I could feel the tension of a person that's sitting in my chair, because they're immediately afraid of how that person looks, right? But when that person comes in, I treat them with respect, and they come in and they respect me as well. And then the person that's sitting in my chair, you can feel the tension just release from their body, and all it is a matter of respect. Because one thing that's certain, when uh that clear tube goes in the side of your neck and all your
Hmm.
blood come out, all the blood is red. I don't care what color you are, how much money you have or don't have, all the blood is red. So respect. That's what it boils down to. The zip bottom line is respect. You know, I don't care how much money you have, you can't take it with you,
Hmm.
right? So that's how we should treat each other as we walk this road together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I
Treat
totally
treat
agree.
treat 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 everybody how you want to be treated,
Right.
always. And don't let people meet you every time you meet. Every time they meet you, they should meet the same person, not one person today and then another person tomorrow. You're temperamental. No, be the same person all the time. Let's learn to trust one another and recognize who each other is.
I agree. Here, give us something. If we no longer love who we come from or where we come from, what's left to return to, protect, or rebuild? And you gone, so I'm sure you could probably
Um,
relate a little bit more.
well, not so much about maybe what is there to return to, as much as focusing on what we may run into or what we may become. And
Hmm.
what made me think about that was I had a good friend of mine who uh, did mission work in Haiti for years. He's a black pastor. He went there a missionary for years. And one of
Hmm.
the things that says about Haiti, because it wasn't so long ago that Haiti was probably one of the most wealthy and luxurious places to be. I mean, the people of Haiti, blacks in Haiti were thriving, leading under Papa Doc in the 70s going into the 80s. Uh, what corrupted it
Hey.
was poor leadership and everyone looking to be bought off. It's a place where you will see a mother who will work all day for maybe a quarter just to feed her kids and still not eat herself. You'll see it is one of the most given places that people will give out of what they have to help a neighbor, to help a friend. But it is also one of the, at the same time, one of the most cutthroat places around, because someone will kill you for $2.
That part.
So
That
how
part. Kidnap you.
Yeah, so in the midst of all of this, where you have true a true sense of family and kinsmanship, yet corruption abounds. And if we're not careful, I mean, that is. I mean, we have a felon as president. So it's not hard
Mm.
for corruption and for unethics to just
To be
run amok.
normalized. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
have leaders who don't know the rules. So if you don't know the rules, you don't know how to engage. And so even if you do meet corruption, how can you meet it if you don't know the rules of engagement?
Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
And if
Yeah.
you don't
That
know the
part.
rules, how is it that you don't know whether or not you are complicit?
Mm. That part. Make it make sense.
Come on, reverends. Reverend son.
So yeah, so when you have that, it is not so much as what we are looking to what we may return back to, is what we are turning into.
Mm.
Man, that's deep right there. That's deep right there. Dustin.
I want people to hear this, real close. Half the issue is all y'all that was born and raised in Beaumont and decided to move to Houston, Dallas, Austin, wherever. Keep your bad mouthing to yourself. Why are you on every post you put on social media bad mouthing Beaumont when you don't
Mm.
live here? Anything go on is negative Beaumont. How about this?
Hmm.
I've lived outside this city for probably close to 15 years. There's crime
Everywhere.
everywhere. There's drug use
Everywhere.
everywhere. There's robbing,
Oh, he said some truths.
He said he was speaking
stealing,
the truth.
everything. There's all these things y'all bad mouth Beaumont about everywhere, but yet you think it's only Beaumont that's doing it. You move to a bigger city that's more crowded and got more things going on that you don't like, but you won't say nothing just because it's not Beaumont.
Hmm.
But that's cool.
Hmm.
You ain't coming back no way. So shut up, be over there, and build over there. Let the people that's putting in work here put in work here. Because folks that's thinking about coming here, all they see is your nasty, ugly post.
Narrative. Yeah.
Because when someone wants to know about something, all they do is type in the words in the search engine and it just shows whatever pops up. So for y'all to continue and while I'm at it, channel 12, channel 6, and I think channel 4 still exists. Y'all ain't no better because y'all do the same stuff.
Oh yeah.
Beaumont Enterprise,
Because
the
I see,
Examiner.
oh, Enterprise is the worst. I see
Political
all this.
review.
I see
I
crimes
was about
happening
to
in
say
Kuntz,
Phil Klein in the Political
Lumberton.
Review.
Sure, I see all these crimes happen in all these cities around Beaumont, and they don't get nowhere near the nasty articles that they'll get in Beaumont. Somebody could be riding down I-10, do something, and they're a Beaumont person for 24 hours. And then when they realize they were just riding on the freeway, they never gonna correct it.
Man,
Of course
man.
not. It wouldn't be a part of the stereotype.
So this is my thing. Is what's going on really what's going on? Because I be in the comment sections and there's a person in the comment section that's real funny because they start looking at everybody who's commenting and calling them out one by one. You ain't even from Beaumont. Shut up. You not from Beaumont. Shut up. You don't live in Beaumont. Shut up. It ain't just people that moved away. It's people from surrounding cities. It's like they think, oh, if I badmouth Beaumont, my little crappy city will be better. It won't. You got doggone dress up a pig and put it next to a goat. It don't make it nothing better.
It's yellow pig.
So stop it. It's just too much negativity. Some people just wake up every day to be miserable. So
Disrespect.
do everybody a favor. Stay your miserable butt on your couch and off social media and off the world bothering other people.
Man. I
Again, the
will
bottom
say
line is respect.
self-respect.
Respect go a long
I
way.
mean, like I did hear you say that, Miss Cat. Respect. I was taught self-respect demands respect. If you see me
Yeah.
respecting myself, and in my self-respect make me respect others, you won't come to me disrespectful.
That's right.
Period. Especially when you see I get respect from people that you can't, or respect from people that you respect. Just like you said, it's earned. But at the same time, I have to respect myself in the
Sure.
ultimate,
That's right.
period. And I believe that it's going to take more than just saying, let's reclaim the village, or let's replace fear with familiarity. Let's stop allowing algorithms and generational trauma to write the story of us today. Because if we don't show up, especially for our people and our youth, how dare we expect anyone else to? Just like Dustin said, you talk so bad about Beaumont when this was your roots, this is where you started. Yes, you were able to leave and you were able to plant roots elsewhere, but guess what? Being that you are no longer here does not give you the audacity to talk bad about the place that people see you being from. So
Oh, they
when
the
they
first
see
ones want to
that,
come back to the class reunion.
right, when they see that waywardness in you and they're not from Beaumont, and you be like bashing Beaumont on your social media, and then they be like, wait, ain't he or she from Beaumont? That's why she act like that at work. That's why she act like that in public. That's why they act like that. And that's why your children act like that. Because that's what you spit out. That's what you give life to when you speak those negative things, not only on this city, but the people who dwell within. If you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all, is what I was taught. But being that you're not subjugated, you feel that you could critique, and not contribute. Not a damn thing that you contribute here. You left, you didn't come back with any resources. You left, you didn't come back with any knowledge. You left, you didn't come back with any understanding to the things that you know we deal with here in our city. So, keep your mouth shut off of Big Money, Texas. Let's wrap up. Miss Cat, give us something to close out for the rest of the week.
I said it. Respect yourself. Respect others.
Dustin, you got it?
Let me see. One little note. My thing is, even Harry Tubman and Nat Turner knew that you're gonna have to kill off some people to even get a thought of freedom. So just know everybody ain't coming with you. You can't bring everybody
Everybody ain't
along.
coming with you. You
Some
so
people
right.
just gotta stay and be what they are.
Very real.
Let's go, Terry. I mean,
Scary.
my bad. You're gonna be on the show. I done called your name 3 times. He don't be back on the phone.
Terry,
Watch.
right?
Don't tell him nothing.
Hey,
Yeah, right.
yeah, with that dollar General Wi-Fi you're working with.
Don't start that, man. Don't start that. Barry, give us something to last us for the rest of the week.
I would say, let's be intentional on not becoming the elders that we say are not contributors.
Oh, wow. Tony,
Let's
give
work
us
with
something for the
intention
rest
on
of the
not
week.
becoming those.
Well, I don't have very much to say this evening. I'm just glad to join you guys for a change, besides laying down in bed. But anyway, it's early voting. Started today until Tuesday, right?
Yes,
Next
sir.
Tuesday. We need you back at the polls to vote. Your vote is very important. It's very important. We want to see you at the polls, please. And I'll be out there looking for you. Go to the polls and vote. It's runoff time here in Beaumont and also in Port Arthur. You got a mayor race and
Yes, there is a
runoff in Port
runoff in
Arthur.
Port Arthur.
And you have a mayor race right here in your town, Beaumont, Texas. So
I keep saying if y'all, I keep saying if
I
y'all
hope
had a
do the right
fan,
thing. What's that?
I keep saying if y'all put the over under on the turnout on FanDuel, you just might have a big turnout. But yeah, y'all don't know how to get turnout.
Not FanDuel.
Y'all keep going to the poll. Y'all need to put some over unders out there so folks put some money on it. But see, y'all
Might
don't.
have to. Might have
All
to.
right, Dustin, with
Hey,
your
D. Holman, how
innovation.
you doing, Lev? I see you, Daniel. I'm just a guest tonight with everybody. We're gonna be voting. I'm gonna come out to your poll. You gotta come out to your poll. I think you're on the Lucas, right? Okay, we'll do that. We're polling. We're voting this week, people.
Absolutely.
Early voting.
Tonight
Early
was
voting.
very, very heavy, y'all, because it had to be. We've danced around this conversation for too long. We cannot claim to love blackness if we only love the parts that make us feel safe or superior. We must be willing to confront where we failed, not to dwell in guilt, but to build from truth. To the fathers, it's never too late to show up. To the mothers, you deserve healing, not just survival. To the elders, your wisdom is much needed, but only if you're willing to speak with compassion, not just criticism. To the youth, your frustration is valid, 100% valid,
100.
but don't use it as an excuse to burn bridges you'll need later. We are not victims without agency. We are architects of what comes next. This table is not just where we talk, it's where we plan, where we confess, and where we commit. So if you've been watching from the sidelines, tonight is your invitation. Let's stop protecting our pain and start protecting each other. This is Christopher Unk Jones, and this is the Round Table Talk. And as always, stay prayed up, stay prayed up, stay prayed up. God bless y'all. Have a good night.
Love and light, y'all.
All right. Cool deal.
Good night, everybody. One by
Good
one.
night.
Boom. Join me on Sundays on Knowledge is Power Podcast Live. We're going to have the mayor candidate, Robin Mouton, is going to join us next Sunday right here on Knowledge is Power Podcast on Sunday evening at 7 p.m. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for watching and listening to Roundtable Talk with your host, Chris Jones.